Well, if you think you have a dysfunctional family, this might be the case for you. A jury taking less than an hour to decide against a woman who sued her own nephew. It started when Jennifer Connell surprised the boy on his 8th birthday party. That's right, 8th birthday party in Connecticut. He ran over to give his aunt a great big hug, and Auntie Jen wound up on the floor with a broken wrist. She sued her nephew, that same 8-year-old, for $127,000. Our legal panel is back. Rebecca Rose Woodland, trial attorney, and Bob Bianchi. He's a criminal defense attorney and former head county prosecutor. She does have the brace. It's been 4 years, but she still has the brace, Bob, because she says she's not able to do things like hold a plate with hors d'oeuvres at a cocktail party.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. This lawsuit outrages me, and this is the reason why the public has such a negative perception about attorneys and the judicial system.
But the attorney was saying she has a total reason to bring this case, does she?
In a negligence case, you have to go by the reasonable person standard of an 8-year-old child who's 50 pounds that goes to give a relative a hug as to whether or not they breached the standard of care of a reasonable and prudent 8-year-old. This suit is ridiculous, and the jury coming back in 25 minutes was them saying, not only are we not giving you money, we think this suit's ridiculous.
Well, her attorney said, Rebecca, that the nephew should have known better. Should have known better than jumping into his aunt's arms because he was excited.
I don't know any 8-year-old that isn't excited to see their aunt and runs over and hugs her. I don't think there's anything
punished for a hug. I mean, really.
And quite frankly, I think that attorney should be punished for bringing a lawsuit so ridiculous and offensive and wasting the court's time.
Now, at the same time, if you are injured on someone else's property, even if you are a family member, I mean, there is homeowners insurance, right, Rebecca? I mean, it's times if you get a really bad injury like this, what's the right legal proceeding if there is one?
Okay, the right legal proceeding is if there's negligence. So, as we were talking, if the standard of care is violated. So if there's a huge pothole and you're walking in the house and it's 12 o'clock at night and there's no lights, no one tells you, oh, there's a huge pothole, you're going to fall. Let's say you fall 10 feet down. Well, no matter who it is, family member or not, that may be negligence you could sue for. But in this case, it's a child just running to say hello.
Bob, that's what's strange. I mean, there's so many parts that are strange about this case. But the fact that you would name the nephew as the person you're suing?
You know, let's add to this. First of all, there's no legal basis for it. Just because you get injured doesn't mean you have a lawsuit. And in this litigious society, unfortunately, people are filing cases like this, hoping to break the back of the insurance company to say, you know what, we have to pay our lawyers so much money, let's just give them a settlement. So good for the insurance company for refusing to pay out on a bogus lawsuit. And let's not forget, this poor 8-year-old child just lost his mother a year ago. It's an outrage, it's a shame, it's a disgrace.
At least you wonder how the case even got as far as it did.
That's what I wonder. I wonder how a judge didn't throw this out for, you know, it doesn't support on a summary judgment motion. The facts don't support evidence leading to a legal case here.
At least a 12-year-old doesn't have to pay. Can you imagine?
And I agree with that, because you know what the next message is? First of all, we have to be so afraid to take care of our kids. Now we'd have to advise our kids, by the way, don't hug too hard, don't show too much affection, don't jump, you may get sued. It's crazy.
Don't get too excited. He had a new bike on his 8-year-old birthday, by the way. That's why he was excited. Okay, so this next scenario, there's no legal case right now, but we wanted to ask you guys about it because we're thinking it's probably coming. American Airlines is taking heat from passengers on a flight bound from Portland after a woman was kicked off the plane. And here's a little bit of the exchange recorded by a man sitting behind her on the plane. Watch.
I need to have you come up to your breath. No, are you serious? No, that's enough.
So mean to me. I didn't do this.
Gosh. I'm sorry. I have to have you get off the
Are you serious?
Yes. Oh my God.
I didn't even know he was talking to me.
I need you to come up.
This can't be legal. Like, I seriously didn't do anything. I know you didn't see it.
If you don't come up, I'm going to have to call the officers.
But off the plane she went, her fellow passengers leaping to her defense, saying this was all a big misunderstanding. They actually booed the flight attendant as they escorted the woman out.
I know you weren't here for it. I know you didn't see it.
They're just having me come back and requesting that you come off.
Man, you just lost a lot of customers.
So the flight was going from Phoenix to Portland, so it was a few hours, and we don't really know, Rebecca, what transpired. What we're gleaning from the reports is that there might have been a misunderstanding. Maybe the flight attendant told this woman to move, and she didn't here, and then she thought he was rude, so she told another flight. It didn't seem anything that was egregious, but that's all we know right now. So does she have any sort of legal ramifications for this?
From what I see from that video, she was very calm, very composed, very nice. She wasn't screaming, she wasn't cursing, she wasn't yelling, she wasn't assaulting anyone. No one alleged that she assaulted anyone.
Right,
there was
that's
no
true.
criminal activity alleged. For someone to be taken off a plane, I think you need to do a little more serious something than complain about a flight attendant. Most of the time, quite frankly, on that airline, I prefer not to even fly that airline because I find them so obnoxiously rude. So, I mean,
well, and by
there's
the way,
nothing wrong with saying someone's rude, and they're service people, and they should actually be checked for proper behavior towards the passenger.
You do feel vulnerable on a plane, Bob, when you're stuck with the flight attendants of the crew. I mean, you're stuck with them, but they're also stuck with you. So maybe there was something where they said, we're not going to fly with this woman for the next several hours, and so she's off the plane. I mean, do they have the legal basis just to remove anyone they think suspected could be a problem for the flight?
Yeah, this goes back to my prosecutor role. You know, after the Homeland Security Act was passed, and listen, we have very specific and strict rules with airlines. We get that. But I have found many times in the enforcement world, whether it be police officers or whether it be flight attendants or airports, you have to use the rule of reason. And sometimes you have temperamentally unfit employees that are overreacting to a scenario and actually making a more chaotic situation even worse. Now, we see nothing here that she did that was wrong.
So what would be her case? Does she have a case to sue the airline for this behavior? She was able to get on the next flight, by the way. They didn't keep her off all day.
Well,
She may.
She may.
Depending on the delay. Did the delay cause her damages financially or emotionally? Is she emotionally embarrassed, distraught over this? We don't know. But we don't know how long the delay was. Next flight might have been the next day. She may have had to get somewhere and it caused her financial aggravation or distress.
You've never gotten removed off a plane, have you, Bob?
I mean, maybe I should have been removed, but I certainly, you know, listen, it wasn't anything like this, and I agree,
No.
there's an intentional infliction of emotional distress and
Yes.
things like this, but, you know, if I did get removed, I wouldn't sue. Still, as a lawyer, I'd say, you know what, you got to suck it up, hopefully get some apology from
Maybe
the company.
a free flight. How
and
about
a free
that?
flight, yeah, let's
A
do
free
it.
beverage?
It
I'm
depends
looking
what
for
really
something.
transpired. Maybe nothing transpired, and maybe she says, I want this conduct to change, and if American Airlines doesn't change their training towards their flight attendants, I will sue. You never know what really transpired.
Now we
we'll
know
find out.
who Rebecca flies, which is not American Airlines. There we go.
I mean, listen, I hate to go to the court of public opinion, but the people that were on that plane,
Sure.
they
Exactly.
obviously were very overwhelmed and in support of this woman, which makes me think this people, the airline people, overreacted.
Social media justice yet again. Rebecca, Bob, thank you very much. John?